I got a message from a OG wannabe girl
wow.
who wanted us to, and she loved it when she heard Chris Klemmer was going to be in studio. She really wanted you to help dissect this movie-related issue that she had.
Try to help.
So she says that, hey guys, I had a sex dream about Pedro Pascal last night. Despite him never really being one of my guys, and I'm wondering what you think this might mean about his current oversaturation in the media, and more importantly, what this means for Fantastic Four, a movie I could have actual sex in real life with Pedro Pascal and still never buy a ticket for. Please feel free to discuss on an upcoming pod. So let's get into that. We've talked a lot about this is the summer of Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
One of his movies come out. Eddington comes out next weekend. And then he's got Fantastic Four First Steps.
Even the spring, you had Last of Us. So
he had Last of Us.
This has been all Pedro Pascal the last few months.
And now we got listeners. And this is, again, she is a OG listener of the B.O. Boys, wannabe girl, having a sex dream about Pedro Pascal. Have we hit the point where now it's too much? Where now women are having sex dreams about him? Why would they pay a ticket to go see him in the movie theater if they are having sex with him in their minds from their own bed?
Well, I think there's something to be said that you want to limit women having sex dreams. Once they have a sex dream, that's like you want to put a brakes in it.
No.
Very scarlet letter of you.
No, have their sex dreams, but will...
Was it The Handmaid's Tale? I feel like this is what we're dealing with here.
Full-on Handmaid's
This is not a Handmaid's Tale situation. There's
Big
no...
Handmaid's Tale
whatever
energy.
dreams want to have.
There's
What-
no
doesn't-
red
doesn't
robes,
affect
or
you.
is it white robes with red trims? Whatever.
Like you don't know.
I'm not
Mix them
manufacturing
out.
No closet.
I'm not manufacturing them. I don't have a closet of them. So is this a good thing then for his box office?
Great
Has
thing.
it
Pedro
worked?
Pascal is the closest thing to a classic handsome celebrity since George Clooney.
Wow.
Like I watch Materialist, I'm like, I get it.
You get it.
This guy.
Okay.
I get it. Like this guy's winning me over.
Okay.
You know, like I get it.
Are you having sex dreams about Pedro
not
Pascal?
yet.
Not yet, but it's on the
You know,
table.
Who knows what happens tonight?
Right.
No, but I think Pedro Pascal. I'm a big Pedro Pascal guy. I think he's a really good actor. I think he's good looking too. I guess, and if you want to add that to the thing.
Yeah.
But I really like. I think he's a good actor. I think I enjoy seeing movies. I think he doesn't try to do too much, which I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
You watch Last of Us, and he carried that show for a year and a half. You could tell when he wasn't on it how much the show would drop off. Materialist, I thought the best scenes were the ones with him in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four. I know Clayton isn't.
No.
Which he has this weird bias about 1960s stuff. That's all right. But I think we're all looking forward to the Ari Aster movie. So
I'm
right?
looking forward to Eddington. I mean, the ace Eric Weber, our guest on the last episode, not looking forward to Eddington. He's, famously, Beau is Afraid, worst of the year for him. But I do
nice,
think...
seems like a nice man. Very grumpy.
He's...
Or very volatile. I mean,
Very
grumpy.
volatile.
That's not the word. Grumpy. Volatile.
I think he would want to be labeled as volatile.
I'll give him
Specifically,
not grumpy,
that's what
volatile because he had a good energy to him. But volatile.
A volatile energy, which is how that's his brand.
Yeah. Okay.
So...
He's like fireworks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fun to look at, but you can't get too close.
Yeah,
It'll go off.
You might get burned.
You might lose a hand.
I don't want him booing me in a theater or whatever he was doing to Beau is Afraid.
No. Yeah, that's how someone loses their stomach, is if they get too close to the ace Eric Weber. Very volatile, in a great way. But so what do you think, Clayton? We've got a wannabe girl having sex dreams about Pedro Pascal, but she did say she would not see Fantastic Four First Steps even if he had sex with her.
See, that's the key in that message, is that the question of what is this going to do for the box office, for her, it's obviously going to mean nothing, because she is like, I had my moment with him. I don't need to see him on the big screen.
Well, I will follow that up with, she followed up with a message this morning, because she did go with her husband to see The Materialist. We went to see The Materialist tonight. And Materialist was so bad. Wow. She did the wow. And she says, it makes me question if Past Lives was actually good or we're all just unhinged. So there you go. A lot going on with this listener's life. Had a sex dream about Pedro Pascal. It did then inspire her to go see Materialist in what? Its fifth weekend at this
Poor
point.
husband. He has to watch her watch Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
Tough.
He did have to sit through that. But you know what? Marriage is it's a long road. Sometimes you gotta sit there and take it.
I mean, this speaks to
I went to see the Dinos for my wife, and her husband went to go see Pedro Pascal.
Your wife wasn't having dreams about
knows?
Dolores. I don't think.
I don't ask.
Okay.
I don't ask.
Probably the healthiest way to live, right?
Yes. Maybe she's emailing.
You can't help your dreams.
Exactly.
Oh, her fantasies are her fantasy.
Yeah.
I do.
And listen, the big head dinosaur, maybe that's a thing.
She's dreaming about that, then that's fine.
Yeah. And
Yeah. No, you were saying
No,
about
go
your
for
wife and the bumpy dinosaur.
about dinosaurs, no, I think we've covered that part of it. So
You didn't. There's nothing more to that.
No, nothing more to
Okay.
that part. Yeah.
Okay, so I think with this is that if you are somebody who is having sex dreams about an actor, barring this wannabe girl, you're more likely to see the movies, right?
I would think so.
Like you said, went to see Materialist. I think these people might have already seen Materialist, couldn't get their fill, and now they're going to go see Fantastic Four. But this begs the question of like how much of his online daddy persona is actually going to translate to people wanting to see his movies. Materialist, that's a good question because who actually did people want to see in that movie? Was it Dakota Johnson? People said that, but they also said the cast in general.
And even the director, like Celine Song got.
So-
I saw people went to see because of her.
I honestly think that, other than Pedro Pascal, it's a Marvel movie, Fantastic Four. And I know that it's in the 60s, which I do hate, but it is like a test of whether he is a guy people want to see. Because other than him, Vanessa Kirby doesn't bring anybody to the theater. The guy from Stranger Things who plays Johnny Storm isn't bringing anybody. We love him. Desi, Marnie's husband, we love him. But he's not even you barely see him in this movie because he becomes a thing. I'm not going to see it for Desi's husband. People are going to go see this movie, a general audience, because they're interested in Pedro Pascal and whether he can lead a big budget franchise movie, I think. And then you're going to get the MC Bazinga Bros are going to go see any of it to try and keep it alive. So they have some reason to get out of the house. But I think that's going to be the main draw is the people who've had those sex dreams about Pedro Pascal. Are they going to translate into ticks?
Right.
Is imaginary dicks equal ticks?
Does it help Eddington? Do the sex dreams help the box office for Eddington?
Well, if Pascal was a big star and like for women of a certain age, like kind of like, hey, this is the guy we want to be with.
Yes.
Then sure. I don't know if that movie is. I think it coming out in the summer is a mistake. I'm not too thrilled about that. I think it's more of a fall movie. But then maybe you deal with kind of the onslaught of just critical fall. I feel like that movie, I'm very intrigued by it. I think a lot of people who love movies are intrigued by it, but that's a fraction compared to people that actually go see movies.
Right.
So I don't know. I can see that falling through the cracks where maybe people like me, the three of us are more interested in seeing it. I got to push back a little. So I think you guys are way too hard on Marvel lately. So Captain America stunk. It was a bad movie.
Yes.
No
Lost
question.
money.
Not gonna lost money. Wasn't good. I'm not gonna defend it. Thunderbolts, you guys shit all over it. That was actually an entertaining movie. And it did some things differently. It took some creative risk. When I say creative risk, I mean like how it was shot. There was some care put into it. Now, I know, I get it. The ad campaign, trying to make it seem like a A24 movie, very corny. I'm not defending how it was marketed.
Lost money.
Didn't lose as much as Captain America, though. I will say. I know now we're talking splitting hairs a little bit.
Yeah, but no, it's a better trajectory.
Better trajectory. And for what it was, also Thunderbolt. So the fuck is a Thunderbolt? Compared to Captain America, which then goes into Fantastic Four. Now, I think Fantastic Four is a bigger name than maybe you're giving it credit for, in that it's not just Marvel Bros and Pedro Pascal. I think there is a middle ground where someone might be like interested in Fantastic Four, but then it's hard for me to say that in the same breath. And we saw what Captain America did. Now that came out in February, but Captain America is a bigger name than Fantastic Four, and that barely got to $200 million domestically.
Right.
So, but I do think though these movies though. I'll be the first one to shit on Marvel. The first one. Marvel is exhausting at times. I'm with you guys 99% of the time. But when they do actually put some effort in and they do actually make a movie that's a bit more interesting and taking some risks, then we have to then give them a little credit, give them a little bit of flowers. Like, we can't always shit. That's my opinion. And I'm trying to go in there with open mind to Fantastic Four. I like Pedro Pascal a lot. I like the Fantastic Four. I think they're interesting. I'm hoping this works, and maybe I'm a huge DC guy. I'm really hoping Superman works, but I also might be just putting my heart ahead of my brain here.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we have neither of us ended up seeing the Thunderbolts. I think after the Instagram video where Miss Flo was struggling to pull that poster to reveal that it was renamed the New Avengers, it really would have taken a lot to get us to the theater after having to witness that video. Just the looks on Miss Flo's faces when she was forced to do that.
Yeah.
That kind of was the death knell for the box office of that movie. But we haven't seen it, so maybe it is, like you said, more interesting.
I think it did 190 with Captain America 200 domestic. Look, that's not where Marvel used to be. That's not where Marvel needs to be.
Is that where Fantastic Four First Steps is going to end up? Do you think this ends up way more than that?
Oh my God! Okay. If it does that, then
I think it might make a little bit more than Captain America.
How much more?
10 million more, maybe.
Oh no! If that happens, then there's problems.
Yeah.
Then the problems are gigantic.
Yeah.
Because you could excuse Captain America. Hey, it wasn't a good movie. Came out in February. Okay. It doesn't have Chris Evans. Okay. You can excuse Thunderbolts. What the hell is a Thunderbolt? No one knows. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Fine. There's no excuse here. It's fucking July. It's Fantastic Four. It's Pedro Pascal. It's a movie that's been marketed to death. If this does 210, if this is under 250, then I don't know what happens to Marvel. I don't know what the next steps are.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what you do.
Right.
Like beyond it, like what is this? Do you just make cheaper movies? I don't know what you do.
Yeah. Well, because no matter what, it's Fantastic Four. Then it is a year and a half off until Doomsday
is it
in
that,
December
is it be that long?
2027.
That might be a good thing.
I think that's a good thing.
Great thing.
I think that's a good thing.
And
yeah.
they need this to be a big hit. They need this to be a big hit because then they can sort of reset after that. They're like, okay, we had a big movie that was a big hit that people liked, and they're gonna wait for the next thing. I'm sure they're gonna throw in some stupid show like they did. They put out Ironheart, and I'm sure they were like thinking after Thunderbolts and after Captain America, they're like, we got this Ironheart and we got to drop it because everybody's complaining about how there's too many of the shows.
Right.
And so when like Thunderbolts was getting this sort of good buzz and blah, blah, then you were hearing Ironheart's coming on D+. And I thought, I was like, just shelve it. Just put it in the vault with The Day the Clown Cried, with Batwoman, with Batgirl, I'm sorry, with Batgirl, with Glitterati. Put it in there, right, and just forget about it. Pay all the actors whatever you want to do. You know, sell it at truck stops and DVDs, but don't put it on Disney Plus, and because that's the sort of thing that people dislike. You know, and I'm like, if this Fantastic Four movie does poorly, then there's going to be a scramble. There's going to be so many reshoots in Doomsday.
Talk me through this. It's okay. So you're Marvel. You have a movie come out in February.
Yeah.
May, July, a year and a half. Why not just have? I know obviously everything has to tie together, which is annoying and a reason I don't like Marvel for sure.
That's the thing.
Agree. Why not have Thunderbolts come out in fucking December then?
Right.
Why do this? Why smash everything in like a 4-month period and then have a year and a half off?
Yeah, I think they just wanted to rip the Band-Aid off with those last two movies and just get them out of the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's very, I think on one hand with the Pedro Pascal thing, it's clearly worked the marketing of him where he is fully in the brains of these women. But if they don't come out and buy tickets to his movies, and it helped Materialists. I think these sex streams for sure help Materialists. I think Eddington's a tough sell to have a sex stream to then want to go see him in a 2020 set dour drama. And I don't think any of these women are having sex streams about Joaquin Phoenix. So you're kind of offset there.
Yeah, and if you're having a sex stream by Pedro Pascal, he's not wearing a mask. Like he's not wearing a mask. He's not wearing.
But he might be wearing it. He is in Eddington. He is sort of in like a cowboy getup. Right?
Yeah,
he is. So I think I will follow up and actually message us after this. The wannabe girl, the OG who had the sex stream by Pedro Pascal. She didn't let us know what he was wearing. So if he wasn't a cowboy or sort of like
or
modern
tuxedo,
West
Materialists
or tuxedo, clearly he wasn't in the Mr. Fantastic getup in her sex stream.
Yeah.
But maybe he was wearing the sort of like modern West getup that he wears in Eddington. And if that's the case, then yeah, she might be buying a ticket to Eddington in a couple of weeks.
I think Eddington's gonna do really bad.